Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this morning for another episode of the Household of Faith. I'm joined here by my grandmother, Peggy Webb. Many people know Miss Peggy, and she's just a wonderful person. And I was thinking about her the other day. She may be little on the inside, but she's a giant on the inside. And we were talking, reminiscing about a time when she was keeping my boys, and she was driving Clay around. He's probably about 4 years old. And she was kind of got turned around when she was doing directions, and she said, do I turn here? Do I turn there? You know how you interact with a little one. And he said, Gigi, how come you don't know nothing? Is it because you're little? So we've gotten a lot of kicks out of that over the years, but she is a giant on the inside. And I just thought it would be a great treat for so many people to hear her healing testimony. Many years ago, she was healed. She was given a death sentence by the doctors, no hope. But I tell you what, this woman is a mighty woman of faith. And I really didn't know all the details of it until really recently. I just knew the big story. But when I hear her tell the details, when I hear her tell how she plunged into the Word and she knew where her answer was and she got it by faith, there's so much truth and so much treasure in this story that I know that we can all take away from, because, you know, whether it's a healing, a physical healing, whether it's a family healing, if it's an emotional healing, whatever it is, the answer is in the Word, and the principles are the same. He hasn't changed. No. His Word hasn't changed. So if we'll do what we're able to see other people do, we can have what we see other people have. She is going to be 89 years old in August. I asked her if it was okay that I mentioned that, because I tell you what, it's a testimony. This woman, how much medicine do you take?
I take supplements.
She takes supplements, but no prescriptions. Mm-hmm. She is as feisty as she's ever been. She's strong. She can do anything. And she's nearly 89 years old. And I was thinking about this verse in Proverbs 31, in verse 25. It says, strength and honor are her clothing, but she shall rejoice in time to come. But listen to this in the Living Translation. I've got her name out by this because she's my example. It says, she is a woman of strength and dignity and has no fear of old age. No fear. And I tell you, there was a time when you were told you would not see this age.
That's right.
But tell us what the Lord told you not long ago about old age.
Oh, this is so good. Well, any might you see in me is because the greater one lives on the inside of me. But not too long ago, as I woke up one morning, the Lord said, old age should not be a disease. Mm-hmm. It should be harvest. And so I wrote that down. But old age is a disease to the natural world, you know.
Yeah.
And
everybody prepares for it.
That's right, and looks forward to it.
Yeah, but it should be harvest,
that's
and
right.
That's what her life represents. In these latter years, she is receiving harvest. But I see harvest from all the Word that you've put in you, all that you've given your life to. You're receiving the harvest on that. And like I said, she has an amazing healing testimony, and I want to dive into that this morning because I know it'll bless you. So it probably started back mid-'80s. Mm-hmm. This season of life began in the mid-'80s. Tell us what was going on in your life at the time when this attack came.
My life was good. I lived a good life. I was married to a godly man, and we traveled a lot of miles going to meetings, Brother Hagin's meetings, Brother Copeland's, other Word meetings, because we were hungry to build our faith. We had both been raised in denominational churches, and we had a lot to learn, and we were hungry to learn it. My two sons, Scott and Mike, had both answered the call of God on their lives. They had both attended Rhema Bible Training Center under Brother Hagin. They had established thriving churches, mm-hmm. and they're still thriving, and life was good.
Yeah.
And then, out of the blue, we say out of the blue, but you know, Satan's always got his sights set on us, doesn't he?
He does.
And I became insatiably hungry for the Word. I just wanted to read it. And it was almost like speed reading. I started in Genesis, and I was just reading as fast as I could. I knew that faith comes by hearing, hearing by the Word of God, and I knew that even though I wasn't thinking about it or looking at every word and trying to analyze it, it was going into my heart. I didn't know what was coming, but I followed that unction, that urge to just fill myself up with the Word of God. And then the attack came. Now understand, cancer was not in my family. It was not in my mother's family, my father's family, my immediate family. I had had no experience with it whatsoever in anybody else's life. So I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, the first symptoms started. I began to lose a lot of blood, and of course that's weakening. And with it came pain. And it just continued on and on and on. And of course I tried to faith it out. And I stayed away from the doctor as long as I could. But finally I went. A friend told me the name of a spirit-filled doctor. And so I went to see him. Well, he told me that I needed surgery. He didn't see anything that looked malignant, but I did need surgery. And so I scheduled that surgery, came through it with flying colors. But then he told me, now he told my family first. Other people can add things to this testimony because I didn't hear everything that the doctors said. But he told my family that they had found cancer and they were very sorry.
Basically saying there's no hope.
There's really nothing they can do. Well, they suggested that I take chemo, and I refused it. Life is full of decisions, and oh, there were so many times that I wanted somebody to make a decision for me. I wanted my husband to make it. I would call Scott, Mike, please make this decision. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Because I trusted them. They knew the Word, and they were just trustworthy, but they wouldn't tell me. They knew it was my decision and I had to make it. Well, I made the decision not to take chemo because I was really feeling pretty good and the pain was gone. And so I rocked on a little while, and a lot was going on at the church. Brother Hagin was coming in, and this one episode, they came in with the Rhema Singers and band, and they had lunch at my house, and it was a big day.
You did a lot of entertaining at your house.
Yeah, my house was the green room, you know, in those days. And so I was cleaning up that night after the lunch, and all at once, this overwhelming weakness came over me, and I could hardly stand, and I knew something was wrong, something was bad wrong. So the doctor sent me back into the hospital for some tests, and that's when they said that there was nothing they could do. They recommended radiation, and at that time I was hurting so bad. I was still driving, still doing my housework, living a normal life, but I'd have to lift my left leg and put it in the car. So the doctor said, "You've got to take radiation." I knew there was a tumor, and he said, "I can guarantee that the radiation will shrink that tumor, but beyond that, there were no guarantees, you know."
And he told you if you refused treatment, what did he say? He
said, "This thing is going to take you out of this world." And so I had another decision to make. This time I elected to take the treatment. And I had to go every morning, first thing in the morning, for about 4 to 6 weeks to the hospital and take the treatments. Phyllis would take me. My daughter-in-law, that I call my daughter, she would come get me every morning, and we would go to the hospital together. And then on the way home, I would stop by the church, and have the staff lay hands on me. And that was so strengthening because, Tara, there were days that I could barely get dressed. You know, there's different kinds of pain. Cancer's a different kind of pain. Everybody's familiar with headaches and just normal glitches and little twitches and all, but it's different. It's different. And I can't explain it, but those of you who have been through it, you know what I'm talking about. And so one morning I was feeling so bad, and I sat in front of my makeup mirror and I said, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." And I said it again. And I said it again. And after about 4 times, that strength started to bubble up inside me. And I was able to get up and finish getting dressed and go on with my day. But my friends, there is strength and well-being and power in the Word of God.
And, you know, I think one of the things that I mean, I'll definitely use the word impresses me about you, and I just, it's amazing to me because I see the way most people operate in situations like that. You never even took pain medicine because you knew that your answer was the Word.
That's
and
right.
you literally took God at His word where it says it's your medicine.
That's right.
And you took the word like that, the joy of the Lord is my strength. There was no medicine to give you your strength.
No.
It was His word going into you that was your medicine.
That's right.
And pain. You know, I lived with grandmother for a couple of years, and if I just, you know, grabbed my toe, oh, my toe hurts, you would pull out the Word on a toenail. The Word, the way this woman lives with the Word as her answer is so real to you. It's so tangible to you. There's no other answer. There's no chemical. There's nothing, no pill that helps the pain like the Word to you. And when I think about what she endured and these kinds of symptoms, yet the Word was always it. It's amazing. It's amazing, but of course you're living to tell the testimony of it too.
Well, there were 2 things that I knew. They were absolutes. I guess practically every time there's catch up to do. But there were 2 things that were in my heart, absolute principles. One was that the Word was the answer. It was the truth. It held the answer. And the second was that God didn't put it on me.
Yeah.
I knew that God wanted me well.
Yeah.
And so that gave me a jump start, you know. But I knew that there were things that I had to pull out of the Word that I didn't know, that I'd never walked through before. And but let me tell you about the medication. The doctor, we counseled with the doctor, and he said, "I'm going to write a prescription for pain medication." And I said, I don't want to take pain medication. He said, "You're going to need it." Well, that'll make your day, won't it? So anyway, we got it filled, and I remember where I was standing. I remember I just remember my surroundings totally. And I was just about to take some. I was hurting so bad, I was about to take some. And I held up that little bottle, and on every bottle of medication, it has the side effects. The first one on this bottle was death. So I kind of declined that opportunity, but it occurred to me, if I take this, if I yield to it, it'll dull my mind. You know, pain medication doesn't cure the pain. It just changes the mind's perception of the pain, but it's there when it wears off, you know. And so I decided that if I yielded to that every time I was hurting and the pain was getting worse, that it would shut my mind down and I couldn't fight like I needed to fight and stand. So I dropped it in the trash and went on from there. But you know, God strengthened me every step of the way. And nobody knew it. I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's another key about surrounding yourself with the right people in your corner.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to have to call it. We're going to have to stop here, but we're going to pick it back up next time.
Okay.
And we just want to thank you for joining us. Be sure and tune in next time, because we're going to hear the conclusion of this, because I know it's going to bless your heart. Thank you.